Let's go YouTube. It's your man Ronin back with another one. And let me really get right into it. So you already know the deal. Use the code Ronin10. As usual, that is your passport to the A-game lifestyle. Helps your vitality, strength, focus, and libido. With that being said, it's time that we have a serious conversation, fellas. Alright, so we're going to talk about the 10 life values in a way that to address these internet weenies, these thug cells, these keyboard cowards or crips, you broadband bloods, all these internet goofies that not only embarrass themselves, but they damage the appearance value of men in general. Now, I know you see the title, and much love to subscribers, both new and old. Hit the like, share, notification bell. That way you see more content coming in. But I gotta get into it. Now, you see the title as the Hounds of Danderville. And it applies to this. But see, instead of for good, it's in the inverse. So I'm gonna break this down to you. Now here on this channel, I keep things brutally honest. I'm always gonna ask people, do you want the truth, the honest truth? And sometimes you gotta say some things bluntly. Now I want to send a shout out to the brother LAR. I want to send a shout out to Sheep Stay Sleep. Much love to him. The Bishop, and definitely the Crimson Cure. And all of them have been inspirations to this video because there are many things that are very disturbing. I did a video about this about a few months ago, talk about keyboard courage, but I think I need to go a little further because this is a prevalent problem. And knowing that this system is backwards, seeing how these internet goofies operate, break down what I see, and you guys let me know in the comment section so we can have this discussion, hopefully quell this disaster of choice or disorder, more or less. So let's talk about the wealth value first, since we're talking about the external more than anything. There are individuals who are not where they need to be financially. We've seen that during COVID. We've seen this in many areas. And we're not just talking about financially. We're talking about there are many individuals who squander the wealth of information. Some are in skilled trades. Some are in professions that afford them the opportunity to talk shit. But again, when you see how they invest their time, which is a very finite resource, you start to question these individuals. And in many ways, you kind of can't take them seriously, but being that technology is the day and age, it's the way, you kind of do. There are individuals who will be willing to do that stuff called swatting, which is where you call the police, and this is what happened, unfortunately, to Tariq Nasheed as a prime example. You'll have anybody who do doxing. They'll put out person's information out there to make them vulnerable, or outright vulnerable to outside forces. And they'll do all kind of manner of things to where they spend their resources, which is their time, waste it into nonsensical topics, or putting forth their aggression in a real bitch-made way to express their anger online. Because online, you can be anything. You can be Pinky in the Brain. You can be the Wile E. Coyotes of the Wi-Fi community. But unfortunately, it doesn't translate well into reality or outside the house. But I'm going to get into that further. The leisure. Let's talk about that leisure for a hot second. Now, these are individuals who squander their time, literally, and that's the best way to put it, online on panels from 8, 12, 24. I've even heard a 48-hour panel talking about outright bullshit. Now, as men, and a wise man told me we're kinetic by design, we're supposed to be in opposing our environment. And to an extent, you can use the internet properly to help with the fight against these things that are anti-man. However, as men, let's be honest, if we're on the move, we got shit to do. We're not just online, or if we have our phone, which actually can be our office. It's all about the intent we're using our technology. We start looking at things where you have brothers, okay, I need to find this to help change this. Things have to align to an extent because we like to have a sense of system, order, and structure. However, there are these panel possums, these Wi-Fi winos. Like I said, there's thug cells. Individuals who talk tough online, but as soon as they unplug, you see them popping their pussy in public, or they want to get a piece of chance. These are individuals who have, they utilize their leisure to highlight how much of a loser they really are. See, leisure, in a correct sense, is supposed to give you that spiritual and creative recharge, where you're like, you know what, you're around certain people that bring the best out of you. You got people or opportunities or activities that get you going, like, you know what, I can incorporate this into my regular day life when I'm back on, the road again, doing what I need to do. However, with these goofies, their leisure is all they have. And when too much leisure is being abused, that's what highlights you being an outright loser. You start losing momentum. You start losing credibility. You lose a lot of things that deem a man worthwhile even amongst his peers. But that's the thing about leisure, which leads into the profession. Now, granted, before I get into that, here's a footnote. If this individual happens to have access to wealth and squanders that wealth into harassing people online and threatening people on every level, we're talking about health-wise, their appearance, their family, their dwelling, their mobility, and everything like that, that puts them as a prime target. Not just with the people they're dealing with, but some people who are watching us even in real time. Shout out to Lil Van out there who's tapping into your Wi-Fi signal. Now, the profession, as I was saying, it's not just what you do, but your profession tends to expose and bring the best or the worst out of you. Now, if you're doing what you love to do, if you'll say you're an electrician and you do your thing, that shows your education, that shows the things about your access or even your ability to navigate the hurdles towards wealth. You're talking about mobility and learning your skill. You're learning how to maneuver in a way to where you're networking in a proper fashion. This is my opinion, which helps with your dwelling, which helps with your appearance, which not just what you know, but your work speaks for itself. Same thing with your family. They take pride in what you're doing. But see, let's go on down to the whole thing about the education. Well, the profession. When you're one of the Hounds of Danderville, your profession is to be a professional bullshit artist. This is where you get online and, again, you talk tough. But all your digital footprints around the digital desert lead you to nowhere, at least if anything of significance. Or you become infamous. Either way, it doesn't benefit you. But this is how the Hounds of Danderville move. Again, these individuals that intentionally remain socially awkward. Now, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that, you're not socially adept as you need to be. That lets you know, myself included, you have to work on things. Like in my profession, I'm an Uber driver. I make it a point though where I choose to talk to people or not, but most times I talk to people in order to get out of my comfort zone. Because yes, I am an ambivert. There's times when I'm cool with talking to people, but sometimes, please get the fuck away from me. But the thing is, in certain conversations, you feel better knowing that this person is a lot better going outside your vehicle than they came in. Because I've talked certain guys off the ledge or from doing something stupid that would have cost them everything. So the thing is, like, if I'm my brother's keeper, that's something you're supposed to do. That's something you're supposed to be intangible, internal, to where like, you know what, this is what I'm gonna do and take onus of that. Now some people, they don't want your advice. Okay, cool. It's about a level of discernment. So using your profession correctly, that way you'll be able to be a viable tool to get guys on point. And that leads into education. See, some of these guys are very intelligent. Some of these guys are tech savvy. Some of these guys know some things that if applied correctly, they could learn to be better men. But when you're a Maggle, when you're a Tender Dick Templar, when you're a White Knight, when you're a Jonathan, the only thing you learn is to invert that education and corrupt it in a way to where you're just worrying about the external stuff, worrying about being a feral idiot, where you're out here using your resources poorly to rent validation rather than grow it organically. This is where you try to overcompensate and try to fill that spiritual abyss with superficial bullshit, rather than be looking to invest into yourself spiritually, knowing who you are, knowing what you're about, and taking pride in that, and teaching people how to respect your boundaries, learn how to uphold your standards. That way you teach people how to respond to you. Because at times I can be socially inept to an extent, but I do not allow myself, nor my peers out here, not just here but abroad, we don't allow that to keep us from where we need to go and what we need to be. It's all about evolution. And see, if you learn that shit and start learning yourself, you won't have time to sit there and squander online, people's time online, slander, pocket watching, flexing when you really don't. Trying to basically promote an idea of who you are online, but then when you unplug, you're just a wallflower or you're a notorious piece of shit. Now, with the mobility part, it's how you move in this instance. See, again, using technology, I'm conveying my thoughts to my peers. Some people are feeling that, some ain't. Okay, you can't appeal to everybody. But the thing is, when you're a Hound of Danderville, only thing you're conveying is your level of insecurity, unresolved issues, insecurities. Sometimes when you get online and, again, say the goofy shit you say, you educate people on how you think and how to move around you. So they professionally learn how to avoid your goofy ass or those who think like you. And at times, they can roast the shit out of you. That tends to be at leisure at your detriment, which leads into wealth. Thing is, they understand that how you think, how you move, and what you refuse to learn has shown that you have been stymied when it comes to success. Internal success. You use external access or assets to try to compensate for the deficits within, which makes you a loser. But that's a disability of choice. I'll continue. Now, this is where things get interesting as far as the dwelling part. This is the internal stuff, which guys tend to run from or shame people for addressing it. But this is where you find strength. I've ran into some guys, and I'm sure we have. And when you ran into this guy's house, you take a look at their dwelling. And it's most times a hovel. Sometimes they're in compromising spaces. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at a guy who happens to be with the family, just looking to get his finances straight. As long as he has a plan and he's doing what he needs to do, it's all good. Because again, there's things with COVID and, the economy and life in general. It's not easy out here. So sometimes if you have connection with your family and that's solid, that's cool. But some of these guys, some of these dudes who are veteran failures, that, they're arguing with their mom and got their name with black Sharpie on the milk. You got these guys who are trying to, coax a woman to go over there and give them some late night gymnastics on a race car bed. There's these guys who get out here and, they make it a point to never show a picture of themselves or in real time. And thankfully, that's good, because some guys are not camera friendly. Again, you're trying to convey this image that you're this and that, and some dudes, they do show themselves, but every now and then you catch the condition, the state of their dwelling, and that leads to a lot of questions. Why is there a black mark on the corner of the wall? Why does this guy have roaches? And roaches are a throwback. Shout out to Kendra, because that's an issue. That does deal with a lot of health, appearance, which I'm going to get into in a second. Let you know that your shit is on point, or it's not on point. Why does this guy take pride in his appearance, which I need to get into now? Just because you spray Raid on your nuts does not discount the fact that them roaches have migrated over to your beard or into somewhere in your fabric, while you still have rent-a-center furniture that you are still owing 15 payments on. You got guys that thankfully, again, don't turn on the camera, because sometimes you got guys who turn on the camera, ain't nobody trying to fuck you, Otis. There's not that many women who have a spin a night bag with your name on it, excited to come see you. If she does, she's going through a situation, her credit score is shot, her reputation is in the toilet, or she needs something to do in the meantime. You might be that bookmark boyfriend. Now, not to say that, there's some chicken heads that are real deceptive and looking to use men and they hate men and all that stuff. Fuck them bitches. I'm talking about, you got guys online who are talking about she got to be a 10, she got to be this and that, and have these legion of standards. And then when you cut on the camera, the nerve of you, motherfucker. So, look, your beard might be matted, you might not be camera friendly, and that's okay. There's guys who made adjustments, like, you know what, I'm not, these guys, these old Shamar Moores or whatnot, but there are women who deal with men generally because of his spiritual value, how he views and carries himself, what he stands on. He doesn't have to be the guy that's Facebook ready or whatnot. But then, again, when it comes to your appearance, where you congregate, what you say and what you do, that totals into how people should receive you or basically dismiss you. And there's too many individuals out here who come out here so entitled because they went to this school, they have this job and whatever, and they're doing all the external 5. But the internal 5, you're bankrupt. So, yeah, a woman's going to sit there and see you like, oh, he's a goofy, I'm going to run through his pockets. Same thing with your peers. You got guys who sit on panels either getting drunk and falling asleep online. You got guys begging to eat a chick's ass in real time in front of people, which deals with your appearance. There's many ways why someone can't take you seriously. If you don't take yourself seriously, why should they? And see, in dealing with that, fellas, the whole internet bravado, that tough talk, doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean shit. All they're talking about, I got guns, I could do this. You be doing drive-bys on your hard drive while your laptop is a little bit flaky. We gotta be serious here. See, again, I screwed up one time or a few times, and I got outside myself, and I told an individual, look, I'll buy your ticket. I will come pick you up, fuck you up, leave a value meal on your chest, and send you home. But again, that was me way out there, and I got out of bounds. I made an ass of myself, and I owned up to it. That's the whole thing. If you're a man about principles and purpose, it's not that you're above expressing yourself, because respect is paramount. And you're not going to sit there and allow someone to sit there and disrespect you and think it's cool. Because the thing is, it gets to a point, if a man values himself, if he has his resources, his family, his reputation, all the things internally, he's not going to take that sitting down. Many of us, and especially of us Gen Xers and then some, when we come outside, we coming for that. there ain't nothing to talk about. All that little tough talk, Tony, meet me at 3 o'clock or meet me in this spot and let's get busy and keep it pushing. But in this day and age, unfortunately, you have keyboard cowards. You got guys who have these broadband balls. But then when they log offline, it's time to sit there and give them some fine knuckle fellowship. All they want to do is get a piece of chance. No, I just want to kick a piece of your ass off your shoulders. And then let you know, fucking, we ain't on this bullshit. But again, this isn't me doing tough talk. I'm just saying, men in general, we don't have time for the goofiness. You don't want to irresponsibly trigger a person's fight or flight reaction. Because when it comes down to that and they're looking to invest time to go kick your ass, they're going to get their money's worth. If you haven't seen the news all day, every day, it's showing real time. Because all those participation trophies, they don't mean shit in the street. So I'm going to continue. Now, then we're going to talk about family. Now, this is the thing is like, when a man's family gets involved, it tends to be all bets are off. This is the man code, unspoken. There's too many guys out here looking, I'm going to do this. And I even had a guy sit there and send somebody close to me messed up messages talking about they're going to rape their sons. They're going to do all this. They show them weird pictures about Photoshop semen on the children and this individual. And he sent things my way. And I told him specifically, you better pray the cops find you before I do. Because after that, you're going to be an unsolved mystery. Now, I know, in a sense, I'm kind of doxing myself, but that's how serious this stuff is. You got these tough Tonys online that get online and say all these things and whatever, but they could be walking right past you. That's part of the dangerous part. That's why we have to be very hyper-vigilant to an extent, doing things about cybersecurity. Learn about being able to properly execute the 4 Ps and the 4 Ts, not just for ourselves, but the people we care about, be it our peers, people we have relationships with, and anybody pertaining within our sphere. That's the whole thing. Then we talk about health. In most cases, that's a sign of eroding mental health in a sense. Because some of these guys are off. And knowing me and a few peers, we take mental health seriously. And I don't like the fact that a lot of guys are afraid of addressing these things. I know a lot of women do, especially when they go on certain channels and talking about, I want a high value man, and she don't bring shit but debt, dandruff, and musty wigs to the conversation. But I'm talking about the fellas. As men, we talking about brotherhood. It's not healthy to watch another man's pocket. It's not, and I tell guys, in literally fucking the shit out of your purpose, you have laser focus. See, you got too many guys who prioritize access to ass. But the thing is, when you're on your purpose, it's amazing thing how a woman tends to throw ass your way. You know, saying like he's going somewhere, he's doing something, if she's got her head right. And even the hyenas, they want to get a piece of the action. It's on you to have a level of discernment, of have healthy boundaries, healthy standards, you know, take care of your health, because you got a lot of these hyenas out here bringing more than fleas and roaches to your arena. Same thing with your peers. There's some guys who don't understand or misunderstand the power of words. Your words have weight. There's some people who can speak poverty into your life, failure into your life, death into your vision, and you in general. The thing is, you have to take those things and prevent and provide a shield from yourself from them. This is why we have to be very mindful of what we say and do out here. So if you have people in your circle who are sitting there and basically pissing and moaning and basically sowing seeds of doubt and sorrow into your vision and your movements, where you can't trust them with your vision, this is where you extend them the middle finger, or you give them the distance to watch you do what you do, but they can't be in the immediate area to basically destroy that. The last part I'm going to talk about is spiritual. When it comes to be a Hound of Danderville, that is one of the most, you got guys out here who treat spiritual repair, spiritual evolution for themselves like red kryptonite. When you're able to master that individual, that darker part of yourself, and win the war within on a regular basis. This is where you start gaining ground in all the other areas of the 10 life values. You start remembering, I am the best investment I need to make. You start looking at utilizing the 4 P's. We're talking about protection of yourself. Learn how to problem solve things. Not be online pissing and moaning and creating a genre of fear porn and fail porn. Then we're talking about procreation. Learn how to use your creative abilities, your gifts, in order to not just generate wealth, but a sense of fulfillment, joy, peace of mind. The very things that some of these guys are wealthy financially, but they're spiritually bankrupt. They envy you because they can't afford to have it nor maintain it. And then it comes down to provision. Time to heal. Time to build yourself up. Time to add weight to your reputation. Time to help your brothers get on point to where you guys build a healthy network, a brotherhood. When you have time to provide a healthy appearance out there for yourself, not just online but off. And that mobility to not just sit there and be an individual or character online. You can be a pillar of provision and empowerment, both on and off. But the thing is, it starts within yourself. Otherwise, you'll be one of these Hounds of Danderville, sprinkling your little dander online. But nobody, who will really want to give a fuck about, both on and off. But the great thing is, being a Hound of Danderville is a disability of choice. So again, this channel is going to be solution oriented. You got to start looking at taking the value of these 10 life values for yourself. If you have to, snap a picture, Photoshop it, or whatever, print it out at Office Max or whatever you want to do. And this is your homework. This is something I'm working on in real time. At one point, I was a Hound of Danderville. But you see, after a while, those fleas start biting a little too hard. You start looking at your environment and say, why am I here in a boneyard? Why am I depressed? Because I see this circle of hellish stupidity, that many of us get engaged in. And I was in that, but I got tired of it because after a while, you start getting dizzy. You start experiencing that level of vertigo. And that basically gets you off the path of victory. So the thing is, the spiritual is most important. You start working on those 10 things. And it's not going to be instant gratifications little by little. But by then, when you start seeing those changes, get around people who can appreciate those and now sit there and exacerbate that growth. You see, last example in closing. When I went to Charlotte and met my peers out there in real time, we got tired. We were cool with talking online on the phone. But the thing is, you need confirmation in real time. I need to see who that person is in reality. If they match up to the internet personality, you notice if they're about the right, you're only going to see slight variations of who they are. You start learning to appreciate them people. And the thing is, while we were together learning each other, we didn't have to look over each other's shoulder because we knew in real time we had each other's back. This is what we need to do in this space and beyond. So I know this is the longest video I've done, but the thing is, this is one of many videos I'm going to do on the Hounds of Danderville. But the thing is, I had to get this off my chest before I get back to work. But again, you guys let me know in the comment section, see what you think. And take it for what you will. Even your being disgruntled on your gripes. We can talk about it. I could use some good toilet paper spiritually. But with all that being said, never allow your comfort zone to become your coffin. Semper Fi to all my vets, both military and civilian. Much love to you guys. Let's go kick ass and take names. Peace.